Hello, Trash Crusaders! Welcome to Save Trash Cinema, the Takeover of Drop In, Drop Out, the only podcast where 7 gamers gather to bring exploitation and exploration back together. It is I, your guide through Trash Cinema, everyone's favorite dumpster boy, Cayman Darty, and on today's episode, we're bringing fists, sweaty beefcakes, 1 3-foot hog, and the most neutered fatalities to ever exist when we cover the 1995 video game abomination and seminal Step on Me Mommy masterpiece, Mortal Kombat. But before we get into that, let me introduce you to the 3 unlucky combatants. Ooh. Joining me on today's episode, Legendary and Legend Baldy. Stream bro with a penchant for bad boy antics. This silly lad just won't wine and dine your mother, but will make sure to serve her a Mexican pancake when she wakes up in the morning just as well. The one and only JakeTwitchin.
What's going on? I am so glad to be here. I listened to Save Trash Cinema episodes to prep for this.
Whoa.
Commitment.
Wow.
Jake, are you familiar with what a Mexican pancake is?
No.
I think you're going to have to click on the link and read it out loud.
Oh, yeah. Wait. I was told I would have to read this.
Yeah.
Hold. No, I'm so good at podcasting.
I can't read.
There's going to be no break whatsoever in this. Mexican pancake. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yes.
Yes. Jesus Christ. I shouldn't have skimmed. Kayla, cover your ears. When a man comes on a girl's face, lets it dry, then peels it off and feeds it to her, as used in the sentence, yeah, I made my girl into a Mexican pancake last night.
Why is it Mexican?
I understand the pancake part, though, which is saying something.
Well, don't worry. It's just going to get worse from here. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Let me just go ahead and say this right now. I promise we're not holding her hostage. She joined this episode of her own accord. We offered her a way out, and she said no. She said verbatim, dumpster boy, I was made for this moment. And you better fucking believe me, we're about to test that. One half of JK Games in the face of pallets and pages, Kayla Costello.
Hey, welcome. I am not prepared, but I am ready to experience the lovely world of Save Trash Cinema in this environment. I'm brand new. I've never been on Save. Neither is Jake, but I've heard that it's a wild time. I did prepare with the green lights. I immediately got on and I was like, I had FOMO, so I had to set up. So happy to be here.
You know what? Look, I'm happy you're here. You bring hopefully some sort of levity to what's about to take place.
I don't know about that.
And so. Well, Kayla, now that we have the palate cleanser out of the way, why don't we actually put your medal to the test? You know him, you love him, and you definitely questioned your allegiance when you found out he travels to Thailand multiple times a year to drink a green apple smoothie from only the finest back alley delicatessens, the one and only Patrick Swagger!
Number one. Happy to be here. Almost 2 full years. I said almost 2 years ago, I said, Cayman, if we go 2 years without Save Trash Cinema, you don't want to know what happens. And thankfully, you're not going to have to know because we're just under the wire of 2 years. And unfortunately, tragically, I do not know what a green apple smoothie is. And so I must.
I'm waiting for it, buddy. Look, here's the thing. Before you read this out.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Patrick, there was a moment on Instagram the other day where he made a reference to the film There Will Be Blood.
Yes.
And I made a comment back to him and he said, you want some of this milkshake, daddy? And I said, brother, you better hold on to that comment because in a couple of days, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass.
Sure.
So Patrick, why don't you go and read us what a green apple smoothie is, which is the sister to a milkshake, by the way.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up. All right. This is by Dr. Syphilis, by the way, the user of Urban Dictionary, Dr. Syphilis, in the year 2009. March 31st. If we had done this in a week and a half, it would have been an anniversary for this post as well. But a sour apple smoothie, tragically, is when eating out a girl with syphilis, she queefs and a green liquid comes out of her vagina and goes into your mouth. Since this is extremely disgusting, you puke all over her vagina, yet continue to eat.
Woo! He fucking did it! Woo!
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah. But
not the syphilis.
But Can I just say the Dan Good Show? Subscribe for 2 months.
Oh yeah!
Good with the bad, I guess.
Thank you, thank you, Patrick, for subjecting yourself to that.
It's been nice that we've taken almost 2 years off. Can I just
He
say?
said,
Oh my
look, he
gosh.
said, folks, he said, I texted him before I was writing the script for this, and I said, hey man, look, do you want me to go easy on you and take it out on Jake, or do you want me to give you the zhuzh? And he said, bring it to me, give me your worst. He said it. He said it. I will produce the text if I need.
Oh no,
to.
no. Let me be clear. I did say that. I if I'm being honest, I expected worse.
Oh wow!
You
And
really?
that's-
Wow,
Okay.
that sounds like a challenge,
And that's
dumpster boy.
a challenge for the next STC takeover.
I
Dumpy
can't wait
boy.
because we will clip this time. This will be clipped. This will be clipped.
I have a
All right,
question.
well,
There will
yes,
be blood. This
ma'am.
will be clipped.
This is literally like 2 minutes in, but for those who are unfamiliar, can you give a quick elevator pitch of Save Trash Cinema for those who have no idea what this beautiful, or what do we let it speak for itself? Do we let it speak for itself?
I think we could. I'll give the elevator pitch just to kind of give some like understanding to what this is exactly. So STC was a brainchild of mine, and if you follow the dumpster dives, you know that I just love things that people have never heard of, and not like I'm potentially in a pretentious way, but like I try not to be. Like the things I like aren't genuinely good. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're Mortal Kombat 1995. I'll say it right now, folks. This is a movie. It's something. Either way, we would highlight these like hidden classics or these movies that no one's ever heard of that are just absolutely buck wild romps, just fun films that you've never seen or heard of before. And so the whole premise is that Save Trash Cinema is to try to save these films from the dustbin of history, bring them back, and let's all go for the ride together. And so we were doing this thing together with Spotlight Games and SCC back in the day before Dido was even an inkling of an idea, where we would do crossovers where we would cover video game movies together. And that kind of idea kind of spurred, and when it was my turn to take over, and I did a hostile takeover, I might add, of Dido, I was basically just like, you don't have an option. You can't control me anymore. The dumpster boy's been let out of his cage, and he is here to wreak havoc.
Correct.
And so that is the elevator pitch, and that is what we are about to get into. But before we do that, let's do a little quick housekeeping. You like that segue? Fucking does.
Oh, I like
All
it.
right. So starting us off, Mondays, guess what? We've got JK Games. Kayla, why don't you tell the people at home what's going on JK Games this week?
I don't know.
Love to hear it.
That's a great, but we will be live on Monday at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. If you're awake for the grannies and grandpas out there at 9:30 p.m., we will be live. We don't know what we're covering. Probably something funny. Jericho will probably go into more of Assassin's Creed Shadows that we've already covered here on Dido, but have not covered yet on JK Games. So
love it. Patrick, I'm assuming because I'm on this episode upcoming and I don't know what we're doing, that we probably don't know what we're doing either.
Well, I don't know what we're doing next week because I'm not going to be on the episode.
What?
In fact, it's going to be the homie JakeTwitchin for a little Jake Dumpin at Spotlight.
Dumpin episode 1.
Just fucking pitch it over to good old JakeTwitchin over here. First ever Jake Dumpin live on air. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. What do you got planned for me?
We're doing Dido. We are an agile unit around here. We are able to make changes on the fly. And if we say Patrick should be over on Clickerbait covering The Last of Us, we say JT takes a little dump.
Yeah.
So I'm coming over to Spotlight Games to co-host for a few episodes.
That's
really
exactly
looking forward to it. And that's starting very, very soon. Now, get me back to my roots. I do love drop in, drop out in our evergreen topic because I like talking about video games in any way, but I'm hyped to cover some video game news with you, King, and then see how off the rails we get.
Oh, for sure.
I love it. I love it.
But that is a good reminder that this coming Monday is the beginning of Clickerbait season 2.
That's right.
I forgot when he was like, "What's next for JK Games?" I didn't think about Clickerbait either until I was reminded of Jake Dumpin. And Monday night Twitch.tv/JK Games podcast is going to be a blast.
It's going to be a blast. We're going to talk all things Pedro Pascal and only look at pictures of him and drool as we look at him.
That is correct. Also, can I please jump in to say we have a gifted sub in the chat to Dubs Game Sesh. Enjoy your ad-free viewing. Enjoy your emotes. Thanks for being here.
Hell yeah.
Well, Fantastic. Presumably Cognitive Clips somewhere out in the ether. I don't know if he's in the chat tonight. I think he's watching a movie somewhere or something.
Yeah,
Being
he
a
abandoned us.
dad or something or another. So, whatever
Exclamation
that
kids.
means. He'll probably have a video out. That's normally what he does.
Oh!
As for me, you can catch me again this week. Don't worry. You have more chances to see me look like a dumbass live on air, where I'm going to be doing Dumpster Boys Dumpster Dives this week. This week's going to be different. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but it's going to be split between two games right now. The first is going to be Nubby's Number Factory. And then the other is Redneck Egyptian Boomer Shooter.
Oh, yeah.
Immortal Redneck. And so, you know what? We got some fun. It's going to be fun regardless. Let me tell you, I've watched gameplay of both, and it's going to be a nightmare one way or the other.
Can I ask you a question?
I mean, obviously you can.
Do you see what I see?
Do you see
a sub, Mini Farver gifted 5 subs. How about that? 5 subs in the chat. A hype train is rolling. Level 3. Get in the hype train. What are you doing in the chat if you're not getting in the hype train? Give me your bits. Give me your subs. Give me your. Is there another transactional thing they can do?
Donos.
What was
Donos.
Give me your donos. Let's get this sub train to a hype level 69, motherfucker.
What's the Fortnite bucks? Give it me. Your
Oh,
Fortnite
V-Bucks.
Oh,
V-Bucks.
V-Bucks.
Give me your V-Bucks, and
we call
Patrick
them
will give
Vs.
you his V card.
Right,
This
right.
is the Save Trash Cinema Takeover. And upcoming on Saturday, Patrick's going to be live again with some more Assassin's Creed. Very excited about that. And next week's Dido episode, well, unfortunately, you're not going to see more Mortal Kombat, but what you will be seeing is the first episode of the Nintendo Switch 2 extravaganza. Presumably, we'll be doing a lot of these episodes in the lead up to the Nintendo Switch 2, and whether or not that will cost $500 or more, we'll guess to see. We'll also get to see if Maury loses his car because he refuses to pay his car payment to purchase one. So that will be live streamed by Jakedumpin. We will fly up to Missouri and just film him from the corner getting beat up. So you never know what you're going to get here, right? So with the housekeeping out of the way, why don't we jump into an overview of the film? All right, this is where we're going to get very serious for a second, folks. Mortal Kombat is a 1995 video game adaptation written and directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. In a rare turn of events, this might be the first time that every single person on this podcast has seen at least one other film that this director has made. He is best known for directing the entire live-action Resident Evil series. He directed the 2020's Monster Hunter adaptation. And most recently, he's been announced to be leading the live-action adaptation of House of the Dead, which we found out would be based off of the third game, or I guess specifically the third arcade the release. And then we also have to say, we are so sorry, Ubol, who did the original House of the Dead. Maybe one day, if we get enough subs in the chat or enough hype trains out there, we'll get that episode. So, you know what? If you want to see more, you just got to, you got to shut up or buck up, right? All right. So, film was written by Kevin Droney, who is known for the live-action Wing Commander film, starring Freddie Prinze Jr., Matthew Lillard, and Saffron Burrows.
Yes, of course.
To be completely honest with you, didn't know that existed. And let me tell you right now, I'm currently on the hunt for a copy. So if you have one right now in your possession, hit me up on Discord. I will DM my address. So film goes as such. The story goes as that 3 warriors enter an ancient tournament where the best of the best from different realms fight each other. The goal, 10 wins to be able to legally invade the losing realm. Outworld has so far collected 9 wins against Earthrealm, so it's up to Lord Raiden and his fighters to stop Outworld from reaching the final victory. All right. The film stars Christopher Lambert. He was Highlander after the only good Highlander movie, which was the first movie. Then there's a lot of them, and they all suck. Robin Shao from Jake's favorite film, DOA, Dead or Alive, and voice of Conroy Wu in Sleeping Dogs, the video game. It's also starring Lyndon Ashby from Strip Naked, Dangerous Attraction, Inside Out 3, and shockingly, only one of those titles is a porno. Can you guess which one?
No, wait.
Well,
All of
Inside Out
them.
3 is a Pixar film, right?
No.
Well,
I
Well,
mean,
it is, but also no.
I mean,
I'm going
I
Inside
think
Out 3.
Stripped Naked.
All right, we got a Strip Naked. We got an Inside Out 3. I'm gonna go and say it. This was actually Inside Out 3. If I remember correctly, it was like a made-for-TV Playboy TV movie. It was like softcore porn. He starred in that. So
it was still kind of porny.
So yeah, I mean, it was very much softcore porn. I mean, maybe you didn't get to see inside out his asshole, but
Sure.
Maybe if you pay him enough money now, if you've seen the movies he's been in recently, he probably would show you the inside of his asshole.
I mean,
all right. We'll leave Johnny Cage alone for just a little bit. We'll get back to him in a bit. So the film also stars Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa from Blue Eye Samurai, The Man in High Castle, and the live-action Tekken film. Look at that.
And don't forget Johnny Tsunami.
And Johnny Tsunami.
Oh, I had no idea.
The grandpa.
Wow.
The grandpa,
Johnny
not the
Tsunami,
father.
yeah.
So sick.
So sick.
Incredible.
And lastly, we have Bridget Wilson, who was in Billy Madison, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and The House on Haunted Hill remake in 1999. The film runs for an hour and 41 minutes and sports a Rotten Tomatoes score of 47%.
Criminally
You
low.
can currently catch the film streaming on absolutely nothing. WB doesn't own the rights to the original Mortal Kombat film, and New Line Cinema fucking hates you. You have two options. You can pay $3 to $5 and rent it digitally, or shuck out the $8 to get the film on Blu-ray like a real person, you fucking cowards. Now, here things get a little bit wild. Are you ready? Because we all know that Mortal Kombat's a pretty big series, so let's talk about it, all right? Mortal Kombat would go on to become one of the largest video game franchises of all time with 24 games in the franchise, made up of 11 original main titles, 3 action-adventure games, and 10 re-releases, upgrades, and ports. Not to be outdone, the series also has a variety of comic book series and tie-ins. The Mortal Kombat film would spawn one direct sequel, Mortal Kombat Annihilation in 1997, which is arguably somehow worse than this. This would later to go on to receive a prequel TV series called Mortal Kombat Conquest. Not to backtrack, but it is worth pointing out that in the lead up to the launch of Mortal Kombat, a 35-minute animated film, Mortal Kombat The Journey Begins, was released. This animated prequel explored the origins of the villains in the film. In 2011, a Mortal Kombat-themed web series titled Mortal Kombat Legacy would launch to middling reviews and would only survive for 19 episodes over the course of 2 seasons. You might think that's a lot, but the episodes were about 10 minutes long. So it wasn't a lot. But guess what? The story doesn't end there, though. After a tumultuous decade of failed reboots and relaunches for the series and film, a relaunch of the series was announced and debuted in 2021. While critical reception wasn't entirely positive, the film was considered a commercial success and was rallied behind fans of the series and newcomers alike. The Mortal Kombat reboot had a sequel greenlit that will be launching in October 24th of 2025. We'll be getting Mortal Kombat 2 this year. Alongside the resurgence of the franchise in popular media, a slew of animated films in the Mortal Kombat Legends series were released under the titles Scorpion's Revenge, Battle of the Realms, Snowblind, Cage Match, and the upcoming film Fall of Edenia. Here's the thing, guys. I have every single one of them right behind me.
Good. You fucking better.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I'm pretty shocked, actually, that the 2021 film was considered a commercial success since it launched in COVID and didn't have a theatrical release. But so it must have pulled in numbers somehow. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I think it did bangers on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'd be curious to know, I don't know if you have this handy, but what the box office was like for the 1995 movie. I'd be curious to know budget versus box office. I'll look it up.
That's a good question. Yeah, you find it on IMDb.
Yeah.
Cayman, could I introduce the first piece of trivia to the podcast?
Of course you can, my bud.
Quickly after the movie's box office success, director Paul W.S. Anderson was asked by New Line Cinema to helm a sequel, but he had set his mind to doing something completely different and accepted the offer to do Event Horizon in 1997. Instead, and he later expressed some regret over not being involved in the making of Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which he thought was a bad film. It was one of the reasons that he remained involved in the making of the sequels to Resident Evil's 2002 as a way to stay with the franchise and shepherd it to fix the mistakes of the past. How about that?
One might say he shouldn't have.
One might say he shouldn't have.
The Resident Evil series just goes down.
The wrong lesson he took from that experience.
So, High Score Weekly and Rabbit in the chat just wanted to back the two of you up that Event Horizon is the only good film that Paul W.S. Anderson has made.
Yeah. Well,
fun fact for anyone curious, the budget for Mortal Kombat 1995 was $20 million. It box office worldwide at $122 million.
That's
boy.
off.
I'm not good at math, but that's a lot. That's a lot of profit there. Very
That's
interesting.
fantastic. I love
Wow.
that.
Incredible.
Well, with the overview out of the way, why don't we take some time to discuss our initial thoughts? I'm going to go around the table, kind of ask all of you what you thought going into this film. We do have a special situation in our hands where we have someone who's never seen the film. We also have two people who watched it most recently and some people who watched it when they were like, I don't know, in their mid to late 40s. So we'll start with him, the eldest boy on the podcast, one might call the elder god here. JakeTwitchin, what were your initial thoughts going into rewatching for the first time in like a decade?
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
He is the eldest boy.
I am the
eldest
eldest boy. Dude, I like forgot how well I knew this movie. And going into it, I was nervous that I don't know why I was nervous. I don't know. I'm doing a new podcast format maybe, but initial thoughts going into it is I can't wait to watch this again, because as I got close to it, I was like, oh wait, I've watched this movie a ton, just not in a really, really long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what do you think about it? Do you like
Yeah.
it? Is it?
We're up there.
The question was phrased, what did I think about it going into it? I didn't realize.
Fair enough. You know what? That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean, I guess I wasn't. I didn't know what we were expecting.
I like that he left it there. Let's save our thoughts of the film for as we talk about the film. Let's just talk about
That's
our
I think
thoughts
how
going
it's
in.
supposed to go. Initial thoughts, Kayla, as someone who's never seen the film before. What did you think going in?
Well, I got the lovely opportunity to watch majority of it with you two, hosting me so graciously on JakeTwitchin's, watching it live. We do it live.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No
yeah.
record.
Oh yeah. Scrubbed. Oh wait. Yeah. Sorry. No. I don't know where they found it. But I finished it, and I actually. So it's interesting, and I'm sure I know we'll get into it later. But it's kind of funny how different the scenes will range. I'm not a movie snob. I'm a pretty easy gal to please when it comes to movies. Like I'm pretty much like, you know what? If I'm having a good time, if it's goofy, if it's fun, I'm down. Like it doesn't have to be a theatrical masterpiece. So I didn't have a ton of expectations going in because I'm not a huge knower of the franchise. So not a big knower. Only know really what I haven't actually ever played any of the games, which is I think kind of I plan on interviewing you guys to get a little more details.
Question, Kayla.
Yes.
Question, Kayla. You say you're not a knower, but are you a shower or a grower?
I'm a sower.
She's quick.
Backing up
You gotta
the
give it to
brand.
her.
It's
Backing up the brand.
Of course, have to. DTF down to farm. But no, I actually really enjoyed it. I had a good time. Like I really did. I had a good time watching it. It was so funny. I finished it on my own time, but I was like, man, I wish I was watching this with Jake and Cayman again because that would be so fun.
It's an
It was
audience.
fun.
It's an audience pleaser.
Yeah.
Patrick, we're gonna round this out with you.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts going into a rewatch of Mortal Kombat.
I was so excited. As I was going into this movie, I was like, so often, I say so often, the few times someone has ever asked me, like, what do you think is the movie you watched the most in your life? My first go-to is always The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. But the more I thought about it, it actually might be Mortal Kombat 1995.
Really?
I watched this movie so much as a kid, partially because I had a little bit of a crush on Robin Shaw, the lead actor that played Liu Kang. But also I loved this movie. Like I remember it thinking it was so fun and cool. And I remember like, as I was watching it, I was remember like things I would do as a kid, like try to do a flip off the wall that, never worked. But yeah, I was so excited to go into it. And I watched it with my wife, Rose, and our friend. And that wasn't the plan for the evening. I was like, soft pitch. We're bringing back Save Trash Cinema. Sign this NDA. I need to watch Mortal Kombat 1995. Anybody interested? And they were both like, sure. And so it was like, then I got nervous. I was like, oh no, what if, because they've watched a fair share of Save Trash Cinema films with me and have disliked most of them. Not all of them, but most of them. And so I'll also share their thoughts at the end, whether they had a good time or not. But that was my experience going into a probably like 11th rewatch of this film.
I love it. I love it. My initial thoughts, I'll make it quick, make it brief, because we do have a show to get on to. I own every single Mortal Kombat film because I fucking love Mortal Kombat. I haven't played a standalone Mortal Kombat game in years. I think Mortal Kombat X would be the last one I actually played. I don't like fighting games, but I love Mortal Kombat. I love the lore of Mortal Kombat. I think everything about Mortal Kombat is just the coolest fucking shit because it's like that 90s. It's that like 90s kid cool, you know, that was like our video games. You could rip someone's spine out, which is arguably one of the coolest things you could ever do to a human being.
Correct.
So like, you know, so personally for me, coming back to it, I recognize Mortal Kombat for what it is. It is a movie that I love, but that movie isn't always a good movie. And I think that is what makes the movie even better. And so I can't wait to talk. I can't wait to talk about why that these scenes make the movie better. So why don't we just go do just that? And on to the show, Mortal Kombat, everyone.
And now, our feature presentation.
The gravelly.
Each of us, there burns the fury of a warrior. In every generation, a few are chosen to prove it.
One of you three will decide the outcome of the tournament.
3 strangers will travel to the mystical realm of Outworld to defend our people against Shang Tsung and his forces of darkness. In an ancient tournament. One more victory.
Your soul is mine.
And our world is theirs.
It has begun!
That's so fucking cool, man.
So good. So
That's
good.
It goes hard.
Oh, man. Oh, dude. All right. So film opens with arguably what is the greatest credit scroll of all time.
Truly.
Mainly just because it's got the best like techno dance song potentially ever created outside of Sandstorm.
Correct. Darude wishes. That's
sure.
for a fact. Another piece of trivia: the producers were rejected by both Sony and Virgin Records for producing the film's soundtrack. They wanted to use electronic dance music, whereas the record companies insisted on popular artists like Van Halen and Janet Jackson. The producers finally went with TVT Records, a relatively small record company at the time, and the soundtrack became the first platinum EDM record ever in history. I did not know that.
So dope.
That's so cool.
That's wild.
The song fucking rips, dude.
It does rip.
It goes back
rips
on like what Cayman was saying about like this time in 1995. Mortal Kombat was just the coolest thing. Like all things, I wanted all things Mortal Kombat injected into my veins like immediately. I needed to have it.
Yeah,
it was that way for kind of like a while, like 3 or 4 years.
Even me not knowing,
Or
like
20.
not being super ingrained into like the game and the whole vibe of it, like that song is easily recognizable, arguably one of the most easily recognizable like scores. And so I immediately would be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. It's a banger.
Yeah,
correct.
And for so long after, because of how much I watched the movie, anytime I would see like the New Line Cinema logo, like the piece of film turning, I just always wanted it to be the Mortal Kombat music because that's how it starts in this movie. Cowards.
Cowards, they say. Liu Kang awakens from a nightmare where he sees his brother being beaten to death by a mysterious man. The man tells Liu that he is the new proud owner of a mid-20s kung fu artist's soul and soon will be the new proud owner of Liu Kang's soul next. We got to Hong Kong. A team of U.S. Special Forces is hunting down a metal-faced cunt named Kano, who, unbeknownst to them, is hanging out with the newly named villain from Liu Kang's dream, Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung does some exposition dumping and tells Kano to make sure Sonya Blade makes it onto a boat and arrives at his tournament. Oh, also, Kano killed Sonya's partner.
I love the amount of, for the next like 15 minutes in the movie, I think they got every single fog machine in Hollywood and just put them all over the set. They're on these docks. And you see across the way Kano's red eye light up, and she's like, "Oh, there he is!" And then he's like, "Oh, come here, Les. Come here,
And my
let's get
voice-
on this fucking
Yeah.
boat."
He's like, oi, I'm alright with a cut, ain't I? We're like,
Yeah.
yeah, you are, you fucking piece of shit.
Exactly.
You flabby Australian bastard.
But
Because
I
of-
also remember like is watching it and seeing like, oh wait, this is Jax. I can't wait to see his arms, because at this point, like, you know, we had an idea of who these characters were from the video game.
Well, we cut to Hollywood. Acclaimed action movie star Johnny Cage angrily walks off set, where he runs into his master, who invites Johnny to a tournament. Twist, though, it's actually Shang Tsung, who is a shapeshifter that was disguised as Johnny Cage's kung fu master.
This is the part where you fall down. What a line.
Oh,
What a
and
line.
Do you just like the setup? That's like the knife on the counter moment.
Johnny
So
Cage
good.
is such a goofy guy, man.
Mhm.
He's such a
Such good.
goofy boy in this movie. I think I love it. I
He's
love
just
good
a silly, goofy guy. Another piece of history, or trivia rather, about Shang Tsung. Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa was the filmmaker's first and only choice for the role of Shang Tsung. He came to the audition in a costume and read his lines while standing on a chair. Shang Tsung was depicted as relatively younger in the film in order to avoid the excessive makeup that would have been required to duplicate his aged appearance in the game. Very
Wow.
interesting.
The commitment to
Can you
it is real.
imagine? Can you imagine being in the room when he gets up there and does that? The man's terrifying, just standing there, not screaming at the top of his lungs that your soul will be his, but just knowing that this is going to be happening.
Correct.
Oh, fuck.
Mhm.
No. not
And I
feeling
mean,
it.
you ever see an actor get on a chair in an audition room and you're in trouble?
Oh, brother. If you ever see me get on a chair, you're probably in trouble too.
It's true.
Brother.
For other reasons. Now back with Liu Kang, we see him in a monastery where his Buddhist monk grandfather informs him of his brother's death as he was trying to enter some mysterious tournament. Liu Kang tells the other monks that he will take his brother's place so that he can exact his revenge. There's something I do want to point out here that we kind of skipped through with the introduction of Liu Kang. Is it the telegram that he receives that tells him he needs to
Oh
come
my god.
back?
That was
It
Yeah.
just says, it just
So
fucking
funny.
says, it just says, Liu Kang, brother dead, come home. What?
Yeah.
Oh, it is it, Grandpa.
Is it from
What?
grandfather?
So
Lost.
good.
Lost.
I died.
Fucking lost. Justin Raiden shows up and gravelly voices his way through an excruciating monologue. Liu insults the Thunder Lord, so Raiden lightning bolts his ass. Regardless, Liu says he will fight in the tournament anyway and storms off, leaving Raiden dissatisfied with his pick for Defender of Earthrealm.
What accent do we think Christopher Lambert was going for? Because
He was something.
Elder God. It's unheard of and it's never
Elder
been
God.
it really is the most. He jumps across continents as he's delivering all of his lines.
He's
Uh,
fucking-
he's multicultural.
He
Right.
is. You know what?
He's stuck in his Highlander phase, but he's also
Sure.
trying to be like cool. And then
And
it's
his
just
fucking
bad.
wig. His wig is so bad.
Oh.
Well, let's hear a bit of those dulcet tones.
Left the temple and ran away, isn't it?
There's something intrinsically
Oh,
racist
Raiden.
about a white dude just storming into a monastery and all the monks just bowing to him. It
Correct.
feels
God.
wrong on a
It
level.
feels wrong on a lot of levels
Because it is.
because
man.
it is.
Oh my god, that voice, the way that he just like through the whole thing. Oh,
He must have needed to just be like downing throat coat the whole production. Like
yes.
the gravel that he puts in his voice, it must have been so uncomfortable, Chris.
Mm.
The
I
truth
always say-
is, oh my god, go ahead, Kevin, go ahead. Go ahead.
I always say that like I hate my voice. I listen to someone like Patrick. I'm like, Patrick's got such a beautiful
Oh,
voice,
stop it.
such a sultry
Aw.
voice, built for something like this. And then you listen to me, it's just like a blender full of marbles. But then you listen to Christopher Lambert in Mortal Kombat, and you're like, no. That is a blender full of marbles.
Yeah.
This is just sad. I don't know.
A humbling experience for sure. I was gonna say none of that $20 million budget went into that wig. Like
No.
none of it. None of
No.
it went there.
I think, in fact,
Not
they
at all.
forgot about his wig in the budget, and they were like, "Hey, Mr. Lambert, really sorry. Do you happen to have a wig at home, perhaps? Because the wig is so bad. It's better than some Marvel wigs, though. Let me just say.
That is fair.
Okay,
That is fair.
valid.
We just watched the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 last night. And
Iconic.
Fair, very fair. Almost as iconic as how bad Jennifer Lawrence's wig is.
Sure.
Because she was also doing X-Men First Class, I believe, at the same time, where she had blonde hair. So she had like naturally, like she had like bleached her hair blonde. And
Yeah.
had this awful wig on. Terrible.
Wow.
We cut to the Hong Kong docks where Johnny Cage and Liu Kang have a racist interaction while Sonya Blade chases down Kano onto a boat. And you're going to say, Cayman, you can't laugh at that statement, which I can say there's justification, which we will soon find out. Patrick.
Yeah.
Correct.
A baddie.
Good
He
for
baddie
him.
who knows he can.
Good for him. That's what I
Good for
said. Good for
him.
him. I like it. What else we got going on, Patrick?
How about now that we've talked about racism, and in fact, I think we fixed it on the podcast. How about some trivia? The locations in Thailand were so remote that they were only accessible by boat. Cast, crew, and equipment had to be transported by long canoes. An outhouse was built in a secluded area near the set so that the crew didn't have to make constant trips to and from the mainland. Legends say podcast host and celebrated degenerate Patrick Schweiger was spotted in some of the back alley delicatessens nearing the filming locations at the ripe young age of 4.
We did it again.
Who let this
I'm
man?
not gonna make you read it. This is the problem with doing something like STC, where the worst joke that you're gonna hear this. No, that's not right. There's probably gonna be more jokes that are just as bad. Maybe not. Maybe. But one of the worst jokes we start off with, you guys all fucking missed. So you're not even gonna know what that means. So that means you need to go back. This episode is gonna launch on podcast services. Go listen to the first 10 minutes. You're going to hear Patrick debase himself in front of us. Absolutely just gets completely ruined live on there.
It was something that no one wanted me to read. I forced it into the show.
It's true. Never held hostage. None of my guests are ever held hostage.
No.
All three of our protagonists come together in the belly of the ship where Shang Tsung is hanging out. After some exchanging of less than pleasantries, Shang Tsung introduces the hapless three to his henchmen. And coolest characters in the entire movie, Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
The only ones I know, man.
Monster?
Do we
Who'd have
think
thought?
do we think the Scorpion's penis also looks like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I know, brother.
That
Do
thing
we
is
think it
both
also
yawnic and phallic.
Right. Do we think it also comes out like of a slit too? Just like he's got a Ken doll crotch that just like opens up.
Could be. I mean, we
Ooh.
do. To be
Snake
fair, we do see under his garments later in the film.
We do.
That's true.
Do
yeah.
we?
We
I
do.
must not have been paying attention as much to his undergarments as you.
I mean, we might get there depending on the B-roll that's been pulled. We'll see.
yeah, it's true. I did a lot of like a super cutting, so we'll see what happens. All right. Back to the story. It's not too long into their display of power that Raiden appears and drops some of the wildest eyeball lightning bolts on their busted up asses. A very frustrated Raiden tells Shang Tsung to fuck off and then chides his fighters for being a bunch of baby back bitches.
Correct.
We get another exposition dump. The three fighters will be competing in a tournament for the fate of their world known as Mortal Kombat. The Earthrealm good guys have lost 9 straight against the Outworld bad guys, and if they lose one more, then Outworld will invade their world and enslave them or worse. Raiden has looked into these fighters' souls and has found that one of them will win the tournament. Ha 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 ha. What?
The Raiden laugh that we get no less than 6 times in this film is the fucking best.
It's unreal.
Just fucking awful. All right, so
Love
Shang Tsung, they end up on some boats. They go on these like little dinghies pulling up on a beach. Shang Tsung does some hocus pocus bullshit. They get to an island. There's no cell service because of magnetic fields or something. Then they climb 46,000 stairs to arrive at a temple. Liu immediately makes eyes with a beautiful lady. And then a statue turns out to be a reptilian creature aptly named Reptile.
Oh,
Keep an eye on her, Reptile.
unreal.
As a completely computer-rendered character with a considerable amount of screen time.
There's a point in the movie where our heroes go to a statuary garden,
And when you're
Look
watching
at this fucking nerd!
you see that it's full of these huge granite and marble statues.
By
And it was
Nike?
our
Does that
job to
say in the
bring one of
bottom
these
right, by
statues to life.
Nike?
And actually,
It does.
It's made of styrofoam and it only weighs about 200 pounds, so we could actually take it to our offices and use it as a reference and model a copy of it in the computer. When we model it in the computer, it ends up looking something like this.
Wow. It's actually, hold on. Let's get back to that. Let's just do a pause. It's so fucking bad.
It's
It
okay. Listen,
it looks
Yeah.
like a
To
zebra
me-
stripe gum.
it's so cool. I
It's
remember
so fucking cool.
I remember thinking how cool Reptile was. Like I am the problem here. I was just the exact target audience. I watched a lot of times that Mortal Kombat The Journey Begins video. Did any of you guys watch that back in the day?
I think I did.
The 35-minute animated film. I have been
Correct.
trying to find it.
Okay, so if
yeah.
I'm thinking of the right thing, and I'm pretty sure I am, it was like a modified version of the original episodes, but there were like origin stories for different people, and they would cut between the like original like Mortal Kombat series animation and this like really badly 3D animated stuff. And I don't mean like badly animated like you see here. I'm talking like worse than PS1 style 3D graphics in this TV show. I really remember like Goro just like working out, and he was just like so blocky, like Lara Croft Tomb Raider style dimensions. But I had watched that, and then seeing Reptile, it felt like the future.
Yeah, it's so
locked in
funny.
on Reptile.
It's so funny looking back and thinking like at the time, like obviously I watched this movie for the first time like this week, but I think of other movies like looking back and I'm like, wow, at the time that felt so innovative. And like it felt like the crispest picture you've ever seen. And then you watch it back and you're like, oh.
I don't remember my initial thoughts of Reptile back in the 90s, but I bet I thought it was fucking sick.
I think it's sick.
Oh yeah.
I bet
it reminds me. I watched Spawn, the original 90s Spawn, the other day, and was just like, man, as a kid, I thought this movie fucked. Holy shit. Movie looks awful. But there's a charm to it. I'll say it. There's a bit of a charm to it.
Yeah.
At a post-tournament banquet, Sub-Zero puts on his best Dolly Parton's Dixie Stampede and promptly turns or freezes, I suppose, a man to death in what turns out to be a flawless victory.
Which, can I just say, in case this doesn't come up later, there is a fight later. I don't remember which one, but Shang Tsung declares it a flawless victory, and it was not a flawless victory. There was
Not a
the other
flawless
person got some hits in. This one didn't. This guy was fucking done in 5 seconds. He did his little he's like showing off with his big pecs and his like oiled muscles, and then just immediately dead. But
yeah, I mean that's how it goes, right?
I just have some notes for Paul W. Sanderson.
I mean,
he's taking.
Funnily enough, I don't know if we actually like ever address this, but there was a point. I don't think we ever do. I think I left it out, but there was a point in which we essentially find out that like Paul W.S. Anderson had no fucking idea how to make a movie like this. Absolutely,
which I love
no
that.
fucking clue how to make a movie like this. How this movie got made, bonkers to me.
Hey, look around to find out. You know what I mean?
Bonkers
Like
to me.
just figure it out.
Liu Kang and the gang chase after Shang Tsung, but soon stumble upon Kano and the best practical effects money can buy, Prince of Shokan, Goro. Oh, look, Shang Tsung's here too. Here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. I know I just spoke, but I'm going to do it again because I want to say that when we were doing this not live, we were not watching this movie live with other people. But that definitely didn't happen.
No matter what I
No.
So during this instance, we definitely didn't do. We did find out that was actually entirely practical effects. And it was a man wearing like a 200-pound Goro on his shoulders. And that's why the man looks like a centipede. He looks like a giant dick with like forearms slapping off the side, you know? Kind of like what I think Gishnu is, just jerking everybody off.
Yeah.
I kept, as we were watching the
India.
movie.
Yeah, we did.
Sure. As I kept watching the movie, I was like, is this CGI? Is this animatronic? Is like, I couldn't,
it's hard to tell.
I couldn't figure it out. And yeah, so I was shocked to learn that this was a fully operated animatronic sitting on a dude's shoulders. Fucking nuts.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
the answer to is it CG animated or not does lie in Reptile.
Sure.
I believe, but I am with you because there's something like oddly, I don't know, it feels too good for the movie in some ways and too bad for the movie in other ways. Like, we don't deserve something this good or this foul in the form of Goro.
Exactly.
Valid.
Also, can we take a second to appreciate Kano? Just what is the most gross eating scene in a movie maybe ever, when he's just shoving this turkey leg in his mouth, talking
Hold
to
on.
Kano?
The rubber turkey leg.
Just like,
Is it prop turkey? It's it's the worst
100%.
consistency.
Well, it must not be, because he's fucking eating it and there's grease all over his face and it's
Oh,
coming
look.
out of his mouth.
I think that flabby cunt. I think he just was eating prop turkey on set. Here's the thing that you guys don't know. I'm gonna lore dump a little bit about our friend Patrick.
Whoa,
Patrick
Oh.
historically despises when people eat live on screen.
Correct.
He
I do too.
cannot stand watching people eat, like in shows and movies.
It's horrible. And this is actually the worst it's ever been. When he's just like, it's so gross, and he's barely chewing, and most of it is just coming out of his mouth. He's taking sips of wine out of a bucket or something, and it's so foul. And the lines also, the dialogue is so horrendous here.
It is interesting though, and it's probably worth pointing out that Patrick jerks off almost every night to Whale, Brendan Fraser's Whale.
Oh,
And that's like the only time that you're like, he's okay with it. But I think
I've actually never seen it.
Brendan Fraser.
It is just
It's just
never seen it.
Patrick,
He just listens.
Stop lying. Stop
Correct.
lying.
He doesn't need to see.
You close your eyes. I would say you can see my eyes are closed. You can't, but they are. And just envision it. Just
He takes
start
in the whale.
His soul is slurping it up. You know.
correct. Some actual Patrick lore. I saw a staged version of the Whale back when that was like the hot play to do, and I fucking hated it. I was like, this place sucks. So I never wanted to watch the movie.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's a fun fact. If I walk over there, I have a copy still in the wrapper on my shelf. I still haven't watched it either.
Apparently,
Here's
it's
the thing.
Oscar worthy.
You know what's
I fully
funny?
believe
I'm gonna go through and watch every single Mortal Kombat film, including all the animated films, and probably watch all of Conquest because it's on HBO Max right now before I watch The Whale. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
Rabbit128 in the chat does make a very good point, though. Brendan Fraser is worthy of a good tug.
Mm-hmm. That's George of the
It's
Jungle.
true. Some should say exposition dump. Liu Kang is the descendant of Kung Lao, which is important. Princess Katana is 10,000 years old, and is the rightful heir to the throne of Outworld, which is also important. Shang Tsung has plans for Sonya, which is, guess what? Also important. Twist. M. Night Shyamalan. No, it actually isn't important. We will address why here in a little while. All of this is being done to set up Emperor Shao Kahn to become ruler of Outworld and Earthrealm when Outworld ends up beating Earthrealm, presumably at the end of Mortal Kombat.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Is Liu Kang actually the descendant? I mean, here's the thing. I'm not trying to like hold this movie's feet to the fire, but I know like there's a game where Liu Kang and Kung Lao fight next, like side by side.
Kung Lao is his like great grandfather. So it's like named. I think Kung Lao is his cousin.
Okay.
In the
Cousin.
games, if I'm
Yeah.
I have a question.
And that game fucks.
It's so
Yes,
good.
Kayla.
That game.
And maybe this gets answered in a later time. Maybe this isn't the time and place. But I am curious, as not a game knower, how important is the lore in the games when you're playing them for the game experience?
If you want fun,
who you're
asking,
love.
here's the thing. If you want to have fun,
For this specifically.
okay, if you want to have fun, this is what I recommend. Just don't play the games. Just go watch like the CG trailers, the cutscenes. They're fucking incredible.
Okay.
And
I
so,
do
like,
love a
the
good
lore-
cutscene.
Honestly, here's the thing is, I would say about Mortal Kombat, you either play it because you like Mortal Kombat, like the gameplay, or you just watch the CG trailers because you like the story.
Yeah.
There's no.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. The two can be true independently. Absolutely.
When Mortal Kombat 1, the most recent Mortal Kombat, came out, I was declined a sponsorship and also what's the word? Fucking broke. And I just fucking watched on release day. I just streamed the Mortal Kombat 1 movie, essentially, which was all the cutscenes just tied together, and called it my full playthrough and put it on YouTube. Did great.
That's so incredible.
Funny. I mean, honestly, fair.
Did great.
It's a great way to do it. I then did that again for Tekken 8. It was also sweet. I can't recommend doing this enough.
Amazing.
Jarek has been trying to get me to do this for Death Stranding, and I've refused her every time.
Yeah. Here's the thing. So to answer your Kayla question, I've also obviously had half this cup of tequila.
Not
the
enough,
lore,
let's say.
right? The
We don't
lore
endorse
doesn't
that on this
really
stream.
matter because even like when I was playing it back then, I was having a lot of trouble following the lore, but it was always fun to be like, oh, there's that character that I've played as before, and now like we have a little bit more about his story or her story or whatever. But it's not. This movie is just Easter eggs. The movie for the most part in terms of like game lore. For sure.
Which there's not a lot of game lore at this point, which is funny.
True.
Which I am very excited about, which I don't know, we might talk about this later, but Mortal Kombat 2, which comes out this year, looks like it is going to be absolutely chock full of side characters and weird shit from the series that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, something I noticed about this movie, like 98% of named characters are just Mortal Kombat characters. Like there's only like one or two characters in this movie that aren't playable characters in the video games, which I think is pretty unique for a video game adaptation.
Don't worry, it'll in the second movie, Annihilation goes even harder.
Yeah. There on this watch through, I heard something that I'd never heard before, or at least that I didn't remember hearing. Toward the beginning of the movie, Shang Tsung references Nighthawk. There's a line that he says, he said when he's talking to Kano at the very beginning of the movie, he's like, oh, well, Kano like wants to, I guess, try to talk to somebody that's dead or something. And he's like, oh, we'll get Nighthawk on that, Kano or whatever. It's like, oh, I know that is lore. Yeah. I know that he can talk to the dead.
Which is the best part of the video game adaptions when you're like, yes, write that down. What's that Leonardo DiCaprio meme? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right. Now the bad guys have spoiled their plans so braggadociously. The group accidentally reveal themselves and have to book their ass or be caught. In the ensuing chaos, the team gets split up, which leads to an almost deadly encounter with Reptile. Not long after, the group is attacked by a bunch of masked goons, and we get our first true fighting sequence in the movie, about 30 to 45 minutes in.
Although once this scene starts, it kind of doesn't stop. It's kind of just fight scenes the rest of the movie. But some more trivia.
Valid.
Bridget Wilson Sampras, who plays Sonya Blade, performed all her own stunts, refusing to use a double, including the fight scenes. She dislocated her shoulder during one scene, but they were able to fix it on set without any recurrence. How about that?
Look at her.
Can I just say, what a baddie. Yeah. She is absolutely incredible. And in the jean shorts as well. All my women know, and men, you can't moving around in the jean shorts is not super. It's not a super agile outfit, but she looks great while doing it.
Can't confirm. Patrick and I both can confirm.
Right.
It's one of our summer wardrobe choices.
Yeah.
It's a nice pair of high riding, low cut jean shorts.
Jorts, some people call them.
If when you bend over, a flesh chandelier doesn't fall right out of the side of your pants, then you aren't doing it right.
Sure.
Brother.
So true.
Exactly.
So true.
Further proof.
Raiden pops up and quips something stupid, and lo and behold, there's like 50 shirtless beefcakes standing right behind them. Then Robert Downey Jr. says, let me guess, they're right behind me. Insert live TV audience laugh track. Wait, this isn't an Marvel movie? Fuck. With Raiden's accompaniment, they are allowed to leave unharmed, though.
He goes,
Fucking stupid bullshit. The next day, Liu Kang commits an act of domestic terrorism on his opponent's ass, and then Shang Tsung sucks the soul out of him harder than your mom sucked the soul out of me last night. Cue CSI Miami David Caruso music.
Wow.
I know JakeTwitchin has it queued up on his stream.
God.
He's got that. He's got the hue. You know the music. You know what I'm talking about? That day. Nope. Okay. Well, we almost got there. Shang Tsung says fatality for the first time, which is
fatality.
I mean, it wasn't a fatality, but like it was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
Almost a fatality.
It was pretty cool. Sonya's up next, and her opponent is none other than the Australian cunt, Kano.
And can I just say,
Sonya Blade.
His entrance in this fight scene,
I have something for you, my dear.
Iconic. Another thing that I'd never clocked before, audio listeners, he's about to walk out of a little shack, and his chest hair is just.
I don't use condoms. I use ice cream wrappers.
Correct.
Oh, God.
That kind of level of like slip it off during. That's the kind of sleaze we are. That's why I am legally required to call him a cunt in at least 38 of the 50 United States that we live in.
Yep, correct. Also, one of the iconic lines from the movie when he pulls out a dagger and he goes, "I'm gonna cut you from ear to ear."
He says
Unbelievable.
he mentioned something about the partner. He just I cut that out. I didn't know how far you wanted me to go on that one. So
No, that's fine. Also, Bennett UA in the chat says, I think this is real. She was apparently married to Pete Sampras, who once upon a time was the greatest tennis player living.
Wow.
No shit.
Yeah, this was like pre Nadal Federer era. It was him and the bald guy, Andre Agassi. They were the two big guys. It is true. How about that? I mean, Sampras is in her last name. How about that?
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. She probably begins to beat the ever-living fuck out of Kano, which, while in the process of, she breaks his goddamn neck. This leads me to the next question. Can you go through puberty twice? Because I think I just did.
Some more trivia about Bridget Wilson Sampras, married to Pete, at least at the time. Had read and auditioned for the part of Sonya Blade several times, but due to the long casting process, she was chosen to do Billy Madison instead. Christina Applegate was also considered for the role, but Cameron Diaz was cast after the producers saw dailies of her from The Mask in 1994. However, Diaz broke her wrist during training just before filming. Fortunately, filming on Billy Madison had just wrapped, making Wilson available again. She happily took the role, even if it meant that she had to be flown to the set the next day and had to train for the big fight scenes in between shooting the rest of the movie. An actor's dream.
An absolute iconic baddie. And we said earlier she does her own stunts, right? That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we missed out on Cameron Diaz, Sonya Blade.
That would have been
nuts. Whoa. Okay.
Here's the thing. I don't know if I would have liked it as much. Like, I don't think she's got like that build, you know. Cameron Diaz is more like slender. Bridget Wilson Sampras is more, you know, like tough and tumble.
It's giving Abby, The Last of Us.
What's the butterfly effect of Cameron Diaz not doing Mortal Kombat? Like, where do you think the world is today? What do you think society is like?
We definitely don't get the 2010 Night and Day starring her and Tom Cruise. I don't think.
I love that movie. I love that movie.
I know it exists. I don't think I've ever seen it. Is it sweet?
Well,
no, it's not.
Kayla, if we ever get back to that movie, I don't know if I'm allowed to invite you because that would be too many like positive voices on one podcast.
Okay, valid.
Which is
we
just
can't have
one
too many
person.
same opinions here.
It's
too many
one
people.
person liking that movie. Johnny Cage is walking through a forest alone. I couldn't tell you why exactly, but he's there. This is where he encounters Scorpion, and what is the coolest fight scene in the entire film. Johnny follows Scorpion into a rift, which leads them to an alternate hellscape. Before you confuse this with the Netherrealm, it is not. In the book's novelization, it is fleshed out that Scorpion opened up a portal upon killing Cage, or upon Cage killing him. Cage is actually transported back to the forest. The only reason I know that is because I searched so deep and found a Reddit page where someone was like, I own a copy of the novelization of Mortal Kombat 1995. And this is what happens. And
I was going to try to read it
shocked.
before the show, but I didn't have time to cram.
Wait, did you? This is like it. They just put webs all over it. I guess.
Very Scorpion's lair, I guess, kind of thing.
I like super cut that down because that fight scene is so long. It is one of the coolest, and I was like, man, it would be great if we could all just sit here together and just watch it. But that would probably be very boring as entertainment purposes. But I want to point out there's a moment, and I love this, is that like Johnny Cage does a bunch of flips, and there's so many fucking flips in this scene, so many flips, and he gets like up on top of a scaffolding, and Scorpion's just like standing down below, and he's just like, hey, get down here.
Yeah,
and it is the most New Jersey accent bullshit ever. And there's probably a reason why, Patrick.
Probably, but yeah, okay, I'll read that. Am I supposed to read this? Am I supposed to read this?
Against
Ed Boon, co-creator of the original video game Mortal Kombat, starred as the voice of Scorpion. So to him, I say, stick to making the games. Maybe hire a real actor.
Hey.
Maybe
he wants to partake in his dreams. Okay?
He does. I get it. But this scene, this is earlier also. We get to see Scorpion's hood off, his clothes off, and it's just skull under there.
Yeah, he does.
And he bleeds lava, apparently.
Right. Lore accurate, I believe. Not the lava, the skull face. It is.
Yeah, the skull face is like OG fatality, I think, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then we get Johnny Cage's fatality with the signed
autograph. Correct.
which is very good.
Yeah,
I should
but
have.
the blood was very gloopy.
So it was the gloopiest blood that's ever
Right.
fucking existed.
Don't like it.
Right. That's fair.
I don't like
That's
it.
fair. Liu Kang and Katana have to fight next, but instead she gives him cryptic messages while they sexually fight each other in the sand. Shang
Love a good
Tsung
sexual
isn't
fight.
pleased, and now we know why he wasn't included in Extreme Beach Volleyball game as a DLC character. He hates to see sexy things wriggle around in the sand. JakeTwitchin, give me your thoughts.
I can't believe you didn't make a clip of this because this is obviously the highlight of the movie. And I don't know. It's because it's Western developed, man. Americans, am I right? How is there not a
Americans.
Mortal
We're the
Kombat
worst.
like sexified game?
Right.
Dead or Alive did it right.
Correct.
The movie has what Diamond Dallas Page is in the DOA
Dude,
Dead
the
or Alive movie, right?
Oh my fucking god, that movie's crazy. Yeah,
I think I
I
have a
definitely
copy
didn't
back
watch
there.
that on stream, but also I did, and it's so good.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm just saying, throw it out to the audience again. If you guys enjoy this enough, we might be able to convince the 6 other people that are part of this podcast to let me do this stupid bullshit more. That being said, Liu Kang fights Sub-Zero next. And while not as great as the Scorpion fight, it does beg the question, can Sub-Zero actually bathe, or does his body parts start to freeze off every time he touches water?
This is the
Wow.
only part of the movie where I take issue with what happens.
Fucking Squank. Hold on, Patrick. Squanky Joinkers just said it was Kevin Nash, not Diamond Dallas Page.
Big sexy Nash.
A different WCW pro wrestler.
Damn. That's embarrassing. But Liu Kang, he's like, ooh, water. He picks up the water and he spins it around, and throws it, and it becomes a giant spike that kills, it goes into Sub-Zero and freezes his whole body. Now, this is not backed by any sort of science, or I'm the most like passive Mortal Kombat fan, but I just have a feeling that Sub-Zero can't be frozen.
You would think, wouldn't you? Like,
Right,
if you
like that.
produce, it's almost like the. Do you guys know the argument? Like, is water wet? You know what I mean?
Sure,
Like,
sure,
it's
sure.
like that argument, which we can take offline. You know what I mean? But like, because that is an important topic we should cover.
Yeah, we should. Actually, someone write that down. We definitely need to discuss that. But no, but for
But yeah, I
real, though,
agree.
like, dude, his whole thing is making people ice and freezing them and ripping out their spine because their body is ice, and he's
Question.
gonna die via ice. I call bullshit.
Hold on. I need to
Kind of
ask some
poetic,
questions.
honestly.
I need to ask some questions about the viscosity of
Ooh.
baby lotion. Real fast.
Sure.
Is the viscosity enough liquid that if Scorpion was over here just squanking his joinkers, if you know what I mean,
Oh, I know.
right?
That's one
Squinky,
thing.
we always
Would
use
his-
this.
would his dick-
here.
I'm coming here. Would his dick just fall off?
Yes.
Or does his cum turn into like icicles that just like just like
Or
fucking
I like that
just-
option.
that's
I
the
like
next
that
I
option.
think
mentality,
cum icicles
just
is
fucking
something.
just
Fuck.
shooting them out, like a fucking
Yeah.
cannon.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
Patrick's
sure.
questioning whether or not we are allowed to do this again.
Yeah.
So
No,
Oh,
we're
no.
good.
Don't worry, Nancy's not in the chat. It's fine. She's
Yeah,
good.
I
Thank
really
God.
hope.
We're good.
Honestly, I think this would be the episode that she should be here for.
Thank fucking God that Nancy's not gonna hear about cumsicles.
This is
Nancy's
the
my
end.
mother. For those unclear, don't watch the VOD,
Insane.
Nancy, please, God.
Is this a cum episode or is this a Nancy episode? I forget which one.
Oh no!
Fucking Christ. At,
It's one or the other.
at around 54 minutes, Liu Kang was supposed to duplicate the acrobatic flips of Sub-Zero down the ramp during the fight, but Robin Chow couldn't pull it off successfully. After a few takes, instead of the acrobats, he just ran down the ramp yelling like a maniac. That's the shot that was used. It's so funny. He just, Sub-Zero does a few little flips and he just like runs, he's like, ha ha. It's so goofy. Very good. Very
I
good.
love the chat popping off for Nancy right now. Like the
R.I.P.
Nancy lore is it really fills me with joy.
It really does.
All right. So Shang Tsung's kind of pissed off at this point in the tournament and says humans have been winning enough. So it's now time to throw at the big dog. I hope you guys are ready for some more penis talk because the 6-armed fuck machine Goro comes out. Goro crushes everyone. And the guy's by like scared. He's just absolutely wrecking shit. And our heroes are terrified. And so fucking here comes Raiden. He's like, oh, and then you know what I gotta say about that? And Jake's gonna back me up on this. Wah wah bitches. Okay. I've whipped Goro's ass so many fucking times, you wouldn't believe it. Raiden's over here like, oh, here's some cryptic and mystical bullshit, and then he just fucks up. While I'm over here just hit downright square and just come over here over and over and over again until he's fucking dead. That's how you fucking beat the game.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Raiden's just like, Liu Kang, you have to believe in yourself.
As he just gravels his way through it.
Some more trivia. Director Paul W. Sanderson credits Christopher Lambert for smoothing over his first job on a big movie. Lambert, a veteran of several Hollywood blockbusters, never got overwhelmed by the large scale of the production, and his laid-back attitude positively influenced the other, less experienced people on set. Even Ed Boon, co-creator of the original video game, admitted that Lambert did a great job despite not being Asian like the character's depiction in the game. He's like, you know what? It's fine that he's white.
Fine.
I'm the creator of the game, also white. Since Lambert was the most expensive actor on set, the production could only afford him for a few weeks of close-ups in an LA studio. A stand-in would be used for the wide shots filmed in Thailand. However, Lambert believed the movie would be better if it was him all the time, so he came to Thailand for no extra charge. No doubt to the chagrin of his agent and his managers. He even paid for the rap party afterwards. How about that?
Wow, too expensive.
He made so much money from the Highlander TV show that he was just like, yeah, I'll cover a Thailand rap party.
Yeah.
Which we all know.
Yeah.
Which we all know includes so many things that we will not cover until the next episode.
Sure. Let's make Patrick read
Takeover.
Urban Dictionary definition for Thailand rap party.
Right.
Oh, God.
Also, Kayla, you're on this, right? You got this.
Yeah, I got you.
You got this.
Also, because we were just talking about Goro, I must read in the chat. Dumpster Boy's #1 fan says Goro's cum has to be crazy, which is actually the craziest fucking thing I've ever read on a Twitch comment.
I bet it stinks.
Oh, yeah, that man does not get enough pineapples in his diet. The next morning, our heroes each have some sunrise mysticisms, and Johnny Cage does some Johnny Cage shit. Him and Sonya are definitely going to fuck later.
Correct.
And I've got to say,
When?
it's in the mid-90s. This is when, the Pam and Tommy tape gets released. Gotta say, you know what? I'm a little disappointed we didn't get a Sonya Johnny Cage tape.
Sure. I love the light cultural reference of the Pam and Tommy tape.
There's like one person in chat right now that's like, yeah, I've jerked off to that.
Yeah.
Pam and Tommy tape, of course.
Nobody Google that on their own time.
Johnny Cage goes directly to Shang Tsung and demands a fight with Goro. Shang Tsung agrees, with the stipulation being that if Goro gets beat, then he will get to choose who he fights and where they fight. Raiden tries to interfere, but the deal has been signed, and now Johnny will fight the big boy. Okay, so I'm going to pause here for just a second. Here's the thing. They just start throwing rules out.
Yes.
Like, we're at this point 3/4 of the way through the movie. They're just starting to introduce rules, and then I realized something. There was never a single rule talked about at all up to this point. These people joined the tournament with no rules, but also with a deep set of very specific rules that you have to abide by.
Like, but don't forget, you have to accept the challenge.
Yep, right.
Too late.
Speaking of big, here we go. This beefcake has definitely got a 3-foot hog on him, and you can just tell. Mainly because Johnny Cage uses it as a punching bag. That's a whole don't fuck with $500 sunglasses, which fatality by exploded cock and balls seems like a step too far for the coward Ed Boon.
Sure. Also, it's one of those where I have to separate myself from the movie and be like, you know what? You guys were on a budget. It was $1995.
$20 million.
$20 million, which at the time was like $42 million. I did the math earlier.
Yeah.
It's like you guys have built this character up so much. He's won 9 tournaments in a row, and the fight with him is approximately 18 seconds. Fuck you. Like, fuck off. Because they knew that there's no way that Johnny Cage would have actually, beat him.
His supersonic green punches right to the tip of this dude's dick.
Yeah.
Absolutely erupted it. This thing split straight down the seam. Just fucking
not the same. Not the same. Oh my god, it's too good.
I feel so bad for you, Kayla. I'm so
no,
sorry.
It's so funny. You guys see my plea for help in the chat.
I get it. A little more trivia. Jean-Claude Van Damme turned down the role of Johnny Cage to do Street Fighter 1994. The character in the games was allegedly originally based off of him. To which I say, a lot of people in history have been like, "Oh, Jean-Claude picked the right movie." We covered Street Fighter on Save Trash Cinema. That movie does not hold up as well as you think it does.
Does it hold up better or worse than Mortal Kombat 1995?
So much worse.
Really?
So much worse. But also, there's a scene. I'm not even kidding when I say this. There's a scene where Jean-Claude or JCVD, which I like to call him that because it's just cooler. He like pulls up real fast, and there's cocaine under his nose still. This man was so fucking high during the filming of Street Fighter. Absolutely fucking gourded. The
cast is insane though. It's him, it's Raul Julia, it's Kylie Minogue as Cammy, it's Ming-Na Wen as fuck, what's the character's name? Chun-Li. The guy that just died very recently.
Right, yeah,
Honda. I forget the guy's name, but the cast is stacked in that movie. Whereas this one, we just had Chris Lambert.
So there's an interesting question from the chat here from Dumpster Boy #1 fan who asked, "Who is more problematic, Christopher Lambert or Mr. Sushi from the film Finding Jesus, which is a Christian adaptation of Finding Nemo?" What I would like to say, chat, is go look up the film Finding Jesus and just Google Finding Jesus, Mr. Sushi. I will let you be the judge of that. Let me tell you, Mr. Sushi is 1,000% more problematic. So fucking bad. But it does bring up a good point, though, that I do feel like we should revisit Street Fighter.
I think we should.
Movie, because guess what? There's another Street Fighter film. There is another one specifically about Chun-Li. What I won't do is I won't bring in Street Fighter 2, the animated film, because you get to see Chun-Li's. I was gonna say the wrong word there.
Excuse me.
You get to see Chun-Li's George W. Bush.
Sure.
And I don't think that we should get away with not streaming or not showing other people. You know?
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, and you can't fool me again. Street Fighter is not a bad movie. I just, upon a rewatch, because I watched that movie several times as a kid. I had it on Laserdisc. Any Laserdisc knowers in the chat? But I remember when we rewatched it for STC, 3 years ago now. I was like, oh, this movie has a lot more bloat than I remember it. Like, that movie could be 30 minutes shorter and be a fucking rager. But there's a lot of, they try to tell too much story in that movie. But we'll save that for that podcast.
Fantastic. I think Patrick just signed. Someone clipped this. Patrick just signed on to do Street Fighter again. Upon Johnny's win, Shang Tsung chooses Sonya as his opponent and transports her to Outworld, where he knows Raiden cannot follow him. Luckily, the two remaining combatants can. So Raiden gives them a little piece of advice and a giant MacGuffin to help save her life. You see, Shang Tsung, to actually get to fight her, has to have her agree to fight him, which seems like a really stupid rule that doesn't make any sense in the context it's given, but that's not what we're here for, folks. What we're here for is two things: bazongas and martial arts. And considering this movie is PG-13, we have no bazongas to entertain us. So enjoy. Before we leave, we get to see Reptile once more before we get his Eponius fight sequence. He's just hanging out on a wall.
He's just chilling, just straight chilling, which We love to see. Because here, before I read this next piece of trivia, a quick interjection, let's pack a lunch. Let's go on a little side quest. Favorite Mortal Kombat characters? Because
Meat.
okay, sure, there's meat. My two, well, I'm gonna say three. My three are Reptile. I've always loved Reptile, especially ninja version of Reptile.
Ooh.
I never really liked when you played as actual Reptile.
Yep.
Also really love Kung Lao, the hat. Come on, throwing the hat to slice people up. And then is his name? I say he's one of my favorites, but I can't remember his name. Is it Kenshi or Kinshi, the blind samurai?
Kinshi. Okay,
Kenshi,
here's the thing,
yeah.
Patrick. Here's the thing, Patrick. Right back behind me, I fucked this up earlier. I was gonna do a big reveal where I broke out every single Mortal Kombat film, and it stacks like this high. And it was gonna be, but I forgot because I already started drinking, and so I forgot. And that's fine. It's called alcoholism. What I would like to say is that the latest of the Mortal Kombat Legends films actually is all about Kinshi, Snowblind.
Oh,
All
sick.
about Kinshi. So maybe you should check it out. Just saying.
Whoa. Okay. I can fuck with that. To the trivia, I say. The producers had to frequently consult the ratings board to find out how much cursing there could be and how much blood could be shown in the film in order to make it violent enough for the target audience, yet still carry a PG-13 rating as mandated by the studio. They found out that showing a human death on screen would automatically mean an R rating, but the death of a monster or creature would not. This explains why all human deaths occur off screen, but the deaths of creatures like Goro could be shown in full when he's just like slowly becoming smaller in his PNG form into the clouds.
Not the PNG form.
Correct.
That's so
Correct,
interesting that distinction is necessary. I wonder if that's similar still today. Like how do they decide what makes it PG-13, what makes it R? Like I'd be very curious to know. It's
Sure.
so
I like
specific.
for our horror fans in the chat. Like I highly recommend checking out this movie called Censor. It's a British film about someone who has been paid or hired to be part of the censor board for the video nasties in the UK. So her whole job is just to watch horror films and then either cut the bad parts out or just say you can't release it at all. It's a really interesting horror film. Definitely recommend. Or if you want to hear more about just like how censorship works within films, we do have an episode on STC that I talk with a British film reviewer who is writing a book all about the video nasties in the UK. And the whole discussion is about like how the UK government basically came in and was like, if you have blood in your movie, you can't release it because God does not want that. And it is a fascinating story about like how the UK had the video nasties and what that meant and how that impacted America's censorship and led us to things like Mortal Kombat 1995, or more specifically, how Hillary Clinton once went before Congress with a copy of Mortal Kombat and didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. Yeah. So you know what? She was really riding her coats going into 2016.
A lot of people don't know this. That's when she said Mortal Kombat to the polls, and she tried that again later with Pokemon Go to the polls. It worked a lot better.
What just just go. No. Go.
That one to social media immediately. That's good.
Hillary Rodham Clinton really brings in the viewers. The secret, the unspoken secret of Save Trash Cinema is that the interview episodes are actually the best. That when Cayman's actually getting to show off how good of an interviewer he is, and he's talking to very talented and cool people in the film industry, a lot of cool shit on those episodes.
Yeah, there is some really cool stuff, and that's I think part of just a little bit behind the scenes. One of the big reasons why SCC took so long to come back is because of how produced the show actually is. And if you could see the behind the scenes, you would see that. And so the interview part is actually a lot easier, shockingly enough, because it is just like hey, I'm just going to hang out with another person and do what I love doing the most, which is just talk about things I love. And so it's just a much easier thing to do. We'll talk more about this later because I do think we need to get back to this. But the boys head up the tower. And this is a big thing here. Okay, Kayla, you don't know this. Well, part of original Mortal Kombat is that when you beat Mortal Kombat, or actually technically the first Mortal Kombat, the first few, tower mode was really all there was. Mm-hmm. You would fight all of the characters. You get to the end, fight Goro. And then if you beat Goro, Shang Tsung, game ends. if you do it specifically in the fight against Goro, you wouldn't actually fight Shang Tsung. You would fight Reptile, which is very fascinating. Given the circumstances here, is that the Goro fight was a flawless victory, which technically actually leads directly to, guess what? Running into and getting attacked by Reptile. Liu Kang throws him into a golem because he's grabbed that little squirrely fuck by the neck, strangling his ass like Homer to Bart Simpson, throws him into a statue, somehow converts into a reptilian version of Reptile that's now become a human ninja version of Reptile. Logic does not prevail in either Outworld or this movie. Either way, Liu Kang does his trademark bicycle kick and blasts that reptilian bitch out of the wall, exploding its corpse into nothing but wriggling worms and dead iguana. And you know what, Patrick? I call that a beer crack moment. You were on mute.
That's so good.
I'm muted. Not anymore. This fight is so fucking great. You can't watch this. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit.
No, dude, I'd supercut the scene, man.
Classic turns into bugs moment.
You guys didn't even know. If I didn't tell you that scene was 5 minutes, you wouldn't have even fucking known.
What a supercut. Can we take a brief moment to acknowledge the supercut of Cayman, our host tonight?
And the production. Truly legendary.
So
very impressive.
Here's the thing. I need these accolades because once this is done, I'm just gonna go cry in the shower.
Sure.
It's like a night. Well, there goes Kayla. She's gonna go cry in the shower too.
That was a slip of the hand.
Any cry?
Slip of that. She just backs right the fuck out. All right. So we exposition dump one more time because if this movie does anything, it is that it delivers all of the story within beat dialogues between two characters. Katana shows up and tells the boys that Outworld was once a beautiful place that her parents ruled over. Then his best warriors lost, I guess, Outworld. I don't know. I wrote this while Gore did. His best warriors lost, I guess, Katana's dad. Lost 10 Mortal Kombats and tournaments in a row. Then Emperor Shao Kahn entered the realm, killed her parents, then adopted her as his own so he could then take over her throne. Liu Kang will need to enter the Black Tower to find Shang Tsung. While in there, he will face 3 challenges: face your enemy, face yourself, and face your worst fears. Here's the thing. No fucking logic here. The story at this point, completely throw it out the window. Doesn't fucking matter. Does not fucking matter in the slightest.
Well, it does a nice little callback to that fight scene with Katana, where every time she grapples him and throws him over her shoulder, she goes, "First, you must fight yourself, and then you must fight your enemy," or whatever she says, and then she brings it all back in this fucking scene.
Guys.
Truly Italian.
I need to go ahead and Patrick, go into the chat right now. I need you to pull.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm on it. I'm on it. This might break the scene
Internet
that we have built, but I don't care. Oh, it didn't. Great. Noah C92 says, "I have so much confidence in Dumpster Boy's cutting abilities. I volunteer to let him circumcise me live next week on Dido."
Whoa.
Noah uncut confirms, but not next week.
I want you to know that Jake's really excited about this. As someone who's very pro circumcision with JakeTwitchin, this man is living for what's about to happen. Kayla once again just left the chat. She can't be here for these conversations, and I don't blame her.
This is boy conversation.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Circumcision with JakeTwitchin. I'm your host, JakeTwitchin, and this week,
let's talk more about my penis with remarried people.
The podcast is just called Brisk.
Yes, correct.
Perfect. Yeah.
With a hyphen it, and what it is he does a circumcision. And then he talks about how to cook a nice barbecue brisket. Correct. It is a wild podcast. It meets multiple niches. 1, the Jewish community. 2, the barbecue people. There's not a lot of intersection here, but he brings those communities together, and that's why we love him.
Correct. Dan Goodshow in the chat says, "I'm with Kayla and Nancy." Honestly,
You made it this
So
far, though.
funny.
This is pretty far in to have made it. You know what I
It's
mean?
so funny.
I'm impressed.
Also, I am with Squanky, and that my favorite segment will be Doc Talk. But we got to get back to the trivia. Robin Shao said that in the original script, he was supposed to fall in love with Talisa Soto, who played Kitana. I was looking forward to it, but they cut. Excuse me, but they thought we have so much action, we don't want to add romance to it. They cut it. He said he just was like, I just wanted to fuck Kitana. Robin Shao, you dirty dog.
Look, Talisa Soto is a beautiful lady, and I don't blame Robin Shao. Okay,
Sure.
I don't blame him. I'm gonna say it. I don't blame him. I don't know if anyone on this podcast would.
No.
I am
I
on
mean,
the
I do, but I
side-
don't. I have to in solidarity for my people, but
for sure. I am on the side of Robin Shao's spaghetti straps, and that's the only side I'm on. So whatever side that puts me on.
I just want to briefly point out before we move along that Bennett UA in the chat says Mexican cakes and sour apple smoothies, fine. Circumcisions, Kayla's out. So you know
That's the line.
priorities. Priorities here.
That's the line, you know.
Didn't know you
Good
were one
callback.
of those people. All right. Shang Tsung tries to trick Sonya into fighting him, but all of the heroes pop out and are like, "Shut the fuck up, you sniveling little bitch boy." Then Liu Kang challenges him to a fight. Shang Tsung's like, I'm gonna fight Johnny Cage," and Johnny Cage is like, "Suck my fucking balls." So Shang Tsung's like, "All right, fuck it. I guess I'll just fight you. It's cool, whatever." And then Liu Kang promptly just proceeds to beat the ever-living fuck out of him.
When you and Jake allegedly didn't actually stream this movie on twitch.tv/JakeTwitchin, www.
And Kayla.
Never did it.
Right, Kayla, yes, is for that brief time.
For 55 minutes.
For 55
yes.
minutes.
Correct.
I counted.
I was howling when this scene came up and Sonya is like tied up with her hair blown out, and Jake's like, "Who's this Patty? Oh my god, could this be this person? Could this be that? Who is this shorty? Shorty in the chat?" It's like, you fucking...
Do you hold on, Jake? I want to ask a real hard-hitting question here. I need you to answer truthfully.
Sure.
Do you think there's a correlation between your hair and your love of women with big hair?
Ooh.
Hmm.
No, I think there's a correlation to my love of women with unnatural hair color, though. Is usually how it goes. Like
So what I'm hearing
I want the
is-
other extreme.
Oh, right.
Hair
right.
so
Right.
crazy it couldn't exist versus
So-
hair so crazy it doesn't exist.
What I'm
That's
hearing,
great.
Jake, is that you have you have an attraction to bad decisions.
Yeah.
He has an attraction to expressing yourself in ways that
I'm
are
saying-
creative.
Bennett
Yeah.
UA says Marge Simpson has entered the chat. Here we go. I'm just gonna look. If we haven't done it already, I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. Suck or fuck, Marge Simpson.
Fuck.
It's the voice for me. I can't do it.
All right, Kayla's out. Gravelly voice. Obviously, Christopher Lambert out as well.
True. True.
Yeah.
That's an easy end. Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it. I'm in. You know what?
Yep.
I'm in. I'm gonna hold on. You guys want to get weird for a second? Can I tell a story?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, we
sure.
We
I
got
guarantee it
look,
won't be the weirdest thing we've talked about tonight.
So I knew this chick, right? When I was in college, who had this whole thing where she was like, could not ingest bodily fluid from a man because it would give her
Sure.
heartburn. Okay.
Oh.
Like this is just, she's like, it would give me
I have to tell you
heartburn.
that was a
So
lie.
I can't do that. Right. So her whole thing was, and this blew my mind, in my hair, right? Marge Simpson style. Just right there. And I'm just thinking, like, it seems like I would rather take a Pepsid than than have to just wash my hair every time. You know?
In my hair is so crazy.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Kayla's over here. I don't know if Kayla's trying to enter the if she's trying to get harder into it, or if she's trying to just completely erase herself from it. I don't know
I
where we
just
are.
zoomed in
anymore.
my eyeball for a moment.
I
I'm
wish
just
when Patrick said, I don't think it'll be the weirdest thing you say tonight. Audio listeners should go back and look at the Dumpster Boy's facial reaction where he goes, I knew this chick.
I knew it was over from that moment.
we always say that this, you don't know what to expect. Just lean into whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that we're here leaning in, right? So knowing he can't win by a single-handed combat, Shang Tsung uses some of his voodoo magic, calls upon a bunch of dead warriors. Katana notes that he will now be facing his enemy. He obviously wins this fight. This was really fucking stupid. I think they just need another fight scene.
Yeah, for sure. Also, dirty playing for him to turn into Chan in this. Am I getting ahead of myself in the script?
I don't know what you're talking about.
When he turns to his brother. When he turns into Liu Kang's brother.
We're not. No, I don't think we're there quite yet.
Okay,
Almost
sorry.
there.
We're almost there.
I think I'm like 5 absinthe drinks deep at this point.
Whoa.
I'm seeing things. So
we're fighting. It's like it happens in like 6 seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're close. Guys. Guess what? We're close to.
We're close. I'm so close.
We're close. We're close.
Oh, we're close.
We're close.
I'm
Liu
far.
Kang then faces himself by saying he's not worried about people knowing what his soul looks like. I'm not sure what the fuck that means, and I am multiple absinthe drinks deep. Katana then narrates from the sideline. Now go and face your worst fear. And come to find out, Liu Kang's worst fear is that his destiny requires him to be Earth's greatest martial artist. What the fuck does that even mean, Patrick?
I can relate. This is something I've struggled with from time to time. My destiny needing to be Earth's greatest martial artist. Because here, can I tell a little story from when I was actually around the time that this film came out? And I'm not making this up. Fact check me, I said. I took karate.
Oh,
probably 96. So, but like a year after this movie came out. And I was really big into these kinds of movies. Big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan specifically. Man, if he was in this movie, I would have lost my fucking mind. But I was in karate class and I was politely asked to leave karate class by the dojo master because during class I kept interrupting and basically actuallying him and be like, actually, I'm pretty sure this is how you do the move.
No.
And I would show him me as a 5-year-old what I thought the real move was because I was such a knowledgeable karate master. And so he went to my mom and was like, hey, your son is really disruptive to class and very disrespectful. Please don't bring him back. So I understand his plight is what I'm saying. And having to be the greatest martial artist of Earthrealm because I am.
You were just trying to follow the rules and explain.
Correct. Yeah. And then not too long after that, my brothers, because I'm the baby of my family, my 2 older brothers convinced me that one time if I was going to get in trouble, I don't remember which Jean-Claude Van Damme movie it was, Cayman, you might remember, but there's a movie where they tie him up by his arms and his hands and ankles and like pull him apart. Like he doesn't like become dismembered, but it's like a way to torture him. And they said that they would do that to me if I continued acting up, and I believed them. So I was like, oh fuck, I don't want them to hang me up and pull my arms and legs
Youngest child probs.
Correct. Exactly. But how about our last piece of trivia? If anybody in the chat's like, this fucking trivia, this is your last one. But I feel like we're doing a great job with the trivia.
I would hope so. Jesus, you ungrateful fucks.
Stop it. Right before their final match, Liu Kang and Shang Tsung salute each other and bow. Liu's hand gesture is called the propitious salute and is a common sign of respect among practitioners of Chinese martial arts. Shang's is called the inflicitious salute, I think is how you would pronounce that. Oh, fuck. I've had too much tequila. Infelicitious.
That's good. That's good.
We're going to say that. And is used as a sign of mourning or disrespect from one fighter to another. In essence, Shang Tsung is showing his contempt for Liu and declaring he's going to die at his hands. And he's going to say, your soul is mine.
Look at that. Look at that. Shang Tsung then turns into Liu Kang's brother. There you go, Patrick. This is just for you. And
we're there.
Then that ruse fails. So he just starts pummeling the fuck out of Liu Kang. Liu Kang finds him in a resolve, and then the tables turn once more. After some martial arts screaming and one-liners, Liu Kang uses his fire fist to punch Shang Tsung off the ledge onto a pit of spikes. This kills the sorcerer and unleashes a torrent of stolen souls, one being that of Liu Kang's brother.
And so we don't have any clips here. I didn't think to ask for this B-roll, but Shang Tsung wearing the cuntiest little vest during this.
Yes.
He is just,
you can like see his midriff a little bit.
101, yeah.
His little biceps are popping out. It's great.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever listened to Cuntology 101, the song?
No.
It'll be it's going to be the summer banger this year. I can promise you that. Chat, look it up. Cuntology 101. You're gonna fucking love this.
Look it up.
But that being said, yes, this man is just really leaning hard into it. After defeating Shang Tsung, the group of heroes arrive back home to find Raiden at the monastery where a celebration is taking place. Unfortunately, the peace is short-lived as the Emperor Shao Kahn has arrived amongst a fury of black clouds. Raiden looks at him and with literal fucking lightning in his eyes, he says, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Cue the theme music and roll credits. The film is done.
We did it.
Wow. Wow.
Dude,
Wow.
I love that ending.
What a time.
It's a
What
great ending.
Fucking ending.
They don't do them like that anymore. The MCU is like, wait through the fucking credits and we're gonna like maybe have Thor talk to Ant-Man. But this, they're like, a god is gonna bust out of a temple, be the size of a fucking skyscraper, and say, I am going to kill your world.
Right.
That's how you fucking do
So
it.
sick.
I don't
So
think
sick.
so.
Right into the music again, right?
Yep.
Immediately into the music, which is even more hype now that we've gone through this whole movie. We get this big reveal. Here's the thing. Spoiler alert. Annihilation literally picks up exactly where this movie leaves
there.
off. It is
And
a perfect transition.
Banger opening too.
Yeah.
Like
Correct,
that fucking ending is enhanced by the beginning of Annihilation, if you ask me.
Correct. Yeah. So if you're going
Can
to
I
do
ask really fast,
Yeah.
Jake, would you say that the opening of Mortal Kombat Annihilation is enhanced by the ending of 1995's Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do you, question, Jake. One more question. Tell me about more openings that you feel are enhanced.
Enhancing an opening is a job I know quite well. Just saying. Openings in my day.
I love it.
Oh my
I
God.
feel for everyone on this stream with me outside of Jake. I feel like it's time that we move on to the last segment of the show. We made it, folks. We fucking did it. Now we bring it to the part where we save it or can it. This is the point of the show where we give our final evaluation of what we think about the film and whether rather we think that the film should be saved or shall it be tossed into the can or the dustbin of history. I'm going to start with the same rotation that we had before. Jake,
Also,
save it or can it?
while we're discussing in the chat, let us know if you would save it or can it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
The poll is up in the chat.
poll,
for
poll.
save or can,
There's a poll?
as we
Jake's
speak,
ready.
in fact.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Poll
Save it or
daddy.
can it? Vote right now to save or can Mortal Kombat. My vote is going to save. I am of the opinion that there is no bad Mortal Kombat because when you love a thing so much, you can appreciate any little facet of it. Is it the best movie in the world? No. Was it fun to watch when I was a kid? Yes. Was it fun to watch now? Yes. Well, I don't know. What more do you need to save something? I'm in.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
I'm in.
I feel
Adore
it. Patrick, save it or can it?
We have one person in the chat so far who doesn't like fun right now.
I'm
the
curious
Save
who
It-
that person is.
It's got to be High School Weekly. The Save It
gotta
is
be High
fucking
School.
taking it.
Well,
right
hold
now.
on a second. Before you answer, let me just say,
Yeah.
High Score Weekly. If we got you a copy of the novelization of Mortal Kombat 1995, do you think that would elevate that opening? That opening is a very, very literal opening. Is it that opening elevated?
We'll have to see.
Opening enhanced.
Well, we'll have to see.
Mhm,
He says he likes
mhm.
this
Oh, yeah.
movie. The reason I thought it was High School Weekly is because he said boo when we were saying save it or can it. So I took that as a can it. But maybe he
I
didn't
really
vote.
want to know who's the one person in here that's got the balls to say that.
Here's the
Help me
thing.
get your ban.
Yeah, exactly. This is in the history of save trash cinema. This is the easiest save for me.
Wow.
It's such a fun movie, and I feel like it really, in a stupid way, holds up. Like at the very top of the show, I was like, "I'll let you know what Rose and our friend thought," and they were both like, "I actually really enjoyed watching that movie because it's dumb fun. It's like you go in not expecting it to change your mind about anything. It's just like 101 minutes of stupid shit and bad accents and some kind of cool fight scenes. And that's exactly what it is. It's easy save for me.
It's Noah Noah is the
Noah.
one.
It's
Man.
Goodbye, King.
Banned.
That's so funny. He's actually been banned.
Dumpster Boy's #1 fan in the chat says, "Do you think about living in America, Noah? And everyone is entitled to a wrong opinion."
Wow.
Are you a Noah or a Shoah? You know what I'm saying?
Mic drop.
Oh, incredible.
And so some clarity from High School Weekly in the chat before we ask Kayla if she will save or ban it. He said, I like the movie. It's the podcast I don't.
I mean, that's totally fair. Honestly, the fact that anyone showed up for this episode at all is shocking.
It's the people who didn't know what to expect. I'm
Right. I'm glad that you did, though. Kayla, rounding us out. What do you think? As someone who's never seen the movie before, save it or can't.
You know, like I did mention earlier, I gave a little sneak peek and I tried to get Jake to tell us before the time was right what our thoughts were. But I'm not a hard person on movies, honestly. I do think it's funny, and I think it's not well done per se as far as aging, the graphics and things like that. But I had a fun time. I would save it. I had a good time watching it, and I love that people love it and that it's a franchise people love.
Yeah, I feel like you can't take. It's unfair to the movie to take it out of context of its time.
Yes,
this movie came out in 1995.
absolutely.
If this exact movie had never come out in 95 and came out today, of course it'd be bad. It would be so bad that we couldn't even enjoy it. But it was the 90s. Like, it was a totally different fucking landscape. And so, yeah, I feel like this is to say this is Noah says this is the, what did he say? He said it's the you can get plenty of that without the degradation of the franchise. I don't think this degrades the franchise.
Oh, not at all. No, what degrades the franchise is all of those weird spin-offs, like the Sub-Zero specific game.
Sure.
That fucking
Mall Mythologies rips, Special Forces rips.
Oh, get fucked. That game is unplayable. Literally unplayable.
It's bad, but also it's good, and it has live action fucking cutscenes in it and shit. No bad Mortal Kombat.
Here's the thing. I would take Mortal. I think Mortal Kombat the 99. I would even say Annihilation is better than Legacy. It's better than Conquest. Like,
I would love a ranking. Maybe there's a short there.
There's worse Mortal Kombat. Here's the thing. I'm finishing up. Mine, save it. Easy save. Here's the thing. And I think this is the crux here. And no, I mean absolutely no offense when I say this. Yes, as someone who talks about Come All Day, likes it. Of course, I do. What do you expect? What I'm going to say is that when I talk about movies like this and I'm like, man, this was really bad from a technical standpoint, does not mean that this movie is not enjoyable.
Yeah.
And that's something we talk about at SEC quite a bit. And I really recommend going back and listening to some other episodes. And I love the fact that Patrick actually was like, this is a product of its time. Because I used to say that to him all the time about all these movies. Is like, it's a movie that lives within a certain year. This movie lives within 1995. When you get to the point when you start looking at like the way this movie functions, it is like, this is peak 1995. And I fucking love that. I fucking love that. And this movie, though, has so many problems that are just, the movie's never not fun. And when I go to a movie, at this point in my life, I got fucking 2,000 films sitting behind me of the most like pretentious bullshit. I've got half the fucking Criterion collection behind me, and I can tell you, I would prefer watching Mortal Kombat 1995 over literally half of those movies. Because awesome. This movie is fun. This movie's fun. I can get shit hammered. I can hang out with my friends. We can watch a movie and have a good time. That's all I want. In a world that's so fucking depressing as it is, that's literally all I want. And I am here. I will stand alongside the three of you, locked in arms, combatants as four, and say that I love this movie. And that being said,
one more.
If you've enjoyed the show, drop in, drop out. Please go to whatever you're on watching this. If you're watching this on Twitch, go follow us. If you're watching this on YouTube, go like the thing. Go follow us there. Subscribe. If you're listening to us on podcast services, please go rate and review the show. We live by your guys' word of mouth. And that was something we talked about as a group earlier today about, like, we live off of you guys telling the people in your lives to come and watch this stuff with us. We're trying to give you guys something entertaining. This show, STC, and Patrick is not aware of this. I'm going to go monologue for a second. STC is really fucking important to me. And these films are really important to me. And I know I act like a dumbass on air. That's who I am on air. But like when it comes down to it, trash cinema films or dumpster dive games, these are really important to me because I think there's something here that we can all connect over.
Absolutely.
And 2 years later, I was sitting there, I was writing the script out, and to be very vulnerable in the moment, and maybe it's all of the absinthe in my body. But like I'm not gonna lie when I say like I teared up writing the intro piece, being like, we're back. STC has come back 2 years later. I've gone through so much shit the last 2 years, and STC has become the victim of that. To have people around me that can support me enough to make this happen again is really important to me. So Patrick, Jake, Kayla, I want you guys to know, yes, I made you say things like cum and syphilis pus and just the worst things ever. But the fact that you guys are here with me right now means a lot to me. Also, fuck Keith! That piece of shit, that motherfucker sitting in his goddamn Cookie Monster pajama pants. You can eat my whole asshole. If you're interested in video games, stick with us. We got JK Games. We got Spotlight Games. We got Dido. We got JakeTwitchin. We got Cog. Wherever the fuck Maury's at, I hope he's living his best goddamn life.
Let's hope he's alive.
We are streaming literally Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, not Friday, sometimes Saturdays. And you better fucking believe you can follow me on Sundays at the Dumpster Boy STC on Twitch, where I play dumpster dives. I act like a fucking asshole. You better believe it. I'm going to go and open up the floor. Patrick, tell me where the people at home can find you.
Well, you basically covered everything. So I'll just reiterate. Go into www.dropinDropoutPod.com. I will say we just launched a VODs channel, Drop and Drop Out VOD on YouTube. Plug. Right now, all we have is our Assassin's Creed Shadows playthrough from yesterday up, but we are going to slowly be releasing all of the VODs that we've done of all the different streams that we've done so far. It'll live differently from our pod channel. The pod will be all of our reaction content, all of our bonus drops, our episodes, that kind of thing. The VODs will be like just chatting streams and just VODs of game streams. So that's live as of today. YouTube.com/@dropindropoutVOD. Give it a subscribe. And yeah, I love that STC is back. It's been my distinct pleasure to drink an entire cup of just tequila. I'm actually not as drunk as I would have expected. I'm not sober for sure.
I feel like I got more red as the episode went on.
You did.
This room is incredibly hot right now, and I was not preparing for it to become an oven. But also, apparently, alcohol just does that thing to you.
Sure.
Kayla, tell the people at home all about Palettes and Pages. Tell the people at home all about JK Games and what you guys are up to.
Well, I was so thankful to be a guest on the Dumpster Boys' very own Dumpster Dive stream, where I got to plug Palettes and Pages, which I don't talk about very often on Dido. But if you're interested in books, you should definitely follow me over there. But you can find me also on JK Games on Monday nights. We got Clearbait coming up. As Patrick reminded me this Monday, Patrick reminded me of the show that he's coming on to that we already had, but I forgot about. But no, that's where you can find me. Every once in a while I'll post some.
Sorry, I just thought that.
Yeah. I can post some. Sometimes I do post. If you like this book, play this video game, and vice versa. So.
Ooh, I love that.
Like.
Really quick interjection. Diablo 420 in the chat says 74% THC vape. I'm legally insane right now. It's so funny. So funny.
Yes. Diablo 420. I honestly, the name suits you. I love it. JakeTwitchin, the man of the hour, the man that I swear to fucking God I watched like 3 times today, and it wasn't the show. What do you got going on, brother?
That sounds right. I am making funny videos across the internet. Wait, can I get one of those Christopher Lambert ha-has from Patrick? Yeah. That's what I'm feeling. I'm everywhere. AmazingStreamer.com is the easiest way to find me. So easy, anybody can do it. Just go to that website. Incredible, right?
But if you can't read.
Hey, there's also this beautiful shirt that should be arriving sometime soon for me that is currently on the AmazingStreamer.com.
Yeah, true.
Which I would recommend everyone go and get your own version, or I guess not version, just your own fucking Richard shirt, you fucking dweebs. You can't take mine. It's my fucking shirt. Speaking of shirts, we don't have any more. But what we do have is guess what? An upcoming episode of the Dumpster Boys Dumpster Dive coming this Sunday, where I will be playing a game, and I'm going to put a poll out in the chat. And this time I'm not in the chat, in Discord. If you're not part of our Discord, join our Discord. It's fucking incredible there. Absolutely bonkers there. Go follow us there, the Drop In Drop Out Discord. It's incredible. I'm going to drop a poll in the Dumpster Boy channel within the Discord, where I'm going to let you guys select what I play this weekend. I felt like that was such a bonding moment we had, and I'm going to let you guys choose that. Thank you guys so much, seriously, for being here. I know I wax poetic about what STC is and what it means and everything that we do, but the truth is we couldn't do this without you. Everyone that's in our Discord, everyone's in the chat right now, every single person that watches all of our stuff, you guys are the ones that make it happen. We continue to make things because of you. And because of that, I can continue to get up every Sunday at 3 p.m. and play the weirdest fucking games you've never heard of. Kayla can continue recommending books like the novelization of 1995's Mortal Kombat. Patrick continue to be jumping on Wednesday nights and can play things like, a Doki Doki Literature Club. And JakeTwitchin can go to Publix and he can just scarf down four like foot longs of sub sandwiches. You know, you don't get that anywhere else. And that being said, I just wanted one last thing to say is that I love all of you. And remember, fight big box office, save trash cinema.